In this video, an update about being a skydiving mom and jumping with a camera for the first time. So I know I've been talking a lot about jumping with a camera on my channel lately, and the main reason is that I got to install my camera on my skydiving helmet and actually jump it for the first time. And I'm enjoying the fact that I can have a camera and take some shots of my skydives and or of the activity around skydiving. So I'm pretty excited, and that's why I've been talking about that. In this video, I just wanted to cover, before I leave for the drop zone, I wanted to cover 3 things that I needed to do before jumping with my camera. And the first one was to get a briefing with an experienced jumper who has been jumping with a camera and or a coach. So by discussing with them, they made sure that the mount was snag resistant. They were pretty surprised that I did have a cutaway system, because some of them were asking me simply, do you really want to jump with a full face helmet and a camera? Because usually they know that full face helmets don't have proper cutaway systems, so usually they would recommend to jump with an open face helmet. So they were pretty surprised by the mechanism of that specific mount. But then we talked about something to consider when jumping with a camera. So making sure that you're not bumping your camera in the plane while boarding and or exiting the plane, especially with the bar that we have above the door. And also we gotta make sure not to stick the camera in places we don't want it to be. So for example, when we get into the door and squeeze ourselves all together to exit the plane in a formation, I gotta make sure that my camera won't get stuck in the middle reserve handle. Usually this type of handle has a hole in it, and so if my camera gets stuck in it, and this has happened to the coach I was talking about, where his camera got stuck in a reserve handle, but fortunately, it slipped out at the exit, so that was a happy ending, but we don't want that to happen. Next, at opening, I gotta make sure that my head remains straight so that it don't get entangled in the lines while it's opening, so I got to consider that as well. And of course, I gotta make sure that I'm not getting distracted by wanting to take the best shots possible and forgetting about the safety aspect of the skydive. Finally, I need to make sure that around 11,000 feet, I open my camera and then I press record before exiting the door. But I don't want it to distract me from placing myself in the door and exiting the plane, because other people are waiting behind me. What I started to do simply is that I opened my camera around 11,000 feet, like I said, and then when the red light comes on and we open the door, I simply press that record button. I'm making sure that from the red light, I'm just focusing on my exit. All right, that was my little rant about my first experience of jumping with a camera. Now I gotta go to the drop zone and we'll talk on the ride there about being a skydiving mom.
Got a restless mind, and now I won't let go. So let us be crazy before we are cold. You can take us out, your doubts won't hold us down, 'cause we're gonna light up the sky where we go. Oh, oh. Do you wanna come along with me? Come along with me. Do you wanna?
So let's talk about how I did adapt to being a skydiving mom. So at first, I used to bring Nathan, and I was all alone there with him. And what I would do is that I would simply ask my fellow friends skydivers to take care of him when they weren't jumping. And what I also did one time is that I parked the stroller in the packer's tent. So that way there was always people around him. But the thing is that I didn't want to annoy anybody. Then what I decided to do is simply wait for someone to come with me at the drop zone, so whether my sisters or my mother. And the reason was because, well, I'm breastfeeding. So I needed my little boy to be with me at all times so that I could feed him. But nowadays things are getting way simpler because he has started to drink in his own bottle. So what I do is that now I can let him at my parents' and then I go jump for the day. That has been how I've been able to really now enjoy more my time at the drop zone, because when you have your baby boy there and a lot of people running around him and nobody to take care of him, well, you're not enjoying the skydive as much. You just want to get back on the ground and make sure that everything is fine. So those are my options right now. So having someone with me at the drop zone taking care of him, or leaving him with my parents or my sisters so that I can go at the drop zone and then get back later on. Yes, it's hard to be a skydiving mom, but that's doable. So now we're going to my parents to leave Nathan there and then go to the drop zone.